Welcome to the Business Information Buffet Podcast, also known as the BIB Podcast, where everybody eats, powered by the College of Southern Nevada. Each week, we'll be featuring business owners and entrepreneurs that will provide their personal recipes for business, powerful conversations, and knowledge of the business world. We amplify the stories of various backgrounds, cultures, and expertise. Our self-identity is as diverse as our social community. We cultivate a community of like-minded individuals that share their different perspectives, broadening our worldview. Are you ready? This is the BIB Podcast, where everybody eats.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Welcome back to the Business Information Buffet Podcast, also known as the BIB Podcast, where everybody eats, under the operation of the College of Southern Nevada here at the North Las Vegas campus for another sensational, phenomenal episode. I am your host, Sean Tory, with our DJ Icebreak.
DJ Icebreak.
My guy. So our episode today is called Nevada Dental Anesthesia with a special guest. Now, thank you for playing that record, because you know what today is, ladies and gentlemen. It is our Founders Day. 06 to the good bros. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the name, today's guest is someone who truly believes on making your smile shine bright like a diamond, baby. All right. So a graduate of Spring Valley High School, our guest grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada, obtained her Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Nevada, that happens to be in Reno. Wolfpack gang. So after graduation, she returned to Clark County to actually teach long-term substitute for K-12 students. She then went to receive her Doctorate of Dental Surgery degree at the Herman Style School of Dentistry at the University of Southern California at USC. So shout out to her. She then completed a 3-year anesthesia residency at NYU at Lagoon Hospital in Brooklyn. Shout out to all my Brooklyn folks out there. Serving as a chief resident. During her training, she provided anesthesia in the hospital setting for a wide variety of surgical procedures and specialities. Our guest is grateful to be back serving her hometown community by safely providing anesthesia in the great Silver State, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest is a big-time sports fan, huge big-time sports fan, proud supporter of the Nevada Wolfpack. Shout out to the Wolfpack, Trojans, Golden Knights, Aces, and Raiders. Ladies, gentlemen, and they, without further ado, the impactful, the impeccable, the extraordinary CEO and founder of Nevada Dental Anesthesia, Dr. Christine Lemon. How you doing? What's up?
Oh my goodness.
What's up, Lemon? How you doing?
This energy right here has been forever, I swear.
No, seriously, man, I'm happy to see you. It's been way too long.
Yeah, this is a mini reunion right here.
It definitely
I like
is.
it.
Wolfpack. So, man, how's everything going? Tell us a little bit, what other than I didn't say in your intro, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sorry, that was kind of long, huh?
No, not too long.
So like you said, I grew up here in Las Vegas, huge Filipino family. Mom's a nurse, obviously.
Gotcha.
No, I'm just kidding. Mom's a nurse. Dad finished mechanical engineering in the Philippines and worked a lot of different jobs in the hotel and gaming industry. My younger brother also graduated from Clark High School. Okay. He's out in San Diego doing his thing. I'm just happy to be home after a lot of years in school, and it's good to be back.
It's good to be back?
Yeah.
So how was your experience out there at, between USC and then NYU? Because you literally went back between coasts.
Man.
So how was it?
So I actually wasn't even supposed to go to New York in the first place.
Oh, tell me about that.
Yeah.
Explode.
So I was finishing up at USC, and it was in my last year, and that's kind of when people started applying to different specialties, and I was like, no, I'm done with school. Like, that's it. I don't want to do anymore. And I told my mom I'm coming home. That's it. I'm done. And I leased a car. I signed like a contract to work here already. And then last minute, a spot opened up at NYU, and they didn't match that spot, and it just all worked out.
It's all took off.
Yeah.
So let's reel it back a little bit because I remember you graduated. When did you graduate? 2011. So that was my junior year. You left
10 years ago.
10 years ago. That's crazy to think about. That was 10 years ago.
I haven't seen you guys in 10 years.
I know, that's wild. And so like you went back home. You came home to be a substitute teacher. So how did that go from being a substitute teacher then going to be a dentist?
Yeah. So also, because I didn't really have anyone in my family that went into dental school or any kind of medical school or post, graduate thing, I didn't know that you're supposed to apply to dental school while you're still in undergrad. So I got out, I graduated, and then they said, oh, this is for the following year. I'm like, no. Like, what am I supposed to do for a year? So I came home, and also I didn't realize how expensive it was to apply to dental school. So I worked 4 jobs in that whole year and a half, and one of them was substitute teaching.
Salute to you. Because I know I worked the max jobs I've ever worked is 3. So for you to do 4, salute.
But it was like part-time, right? So it was like Express isn't there anymore, but Caesar's Palace, I was like out there, had to watch that. I had to watch that show every like 30 minutes. I'm like, please shut down. I don't want to watch this anymore. And then Banana Republic's not there in Boca Park, but I used to work there.
Oh, that's right. That is gone.
And then, dental assisting. So you
went from there, from PK through 12, K through 12, doing substitute teaching, then going to the dentistry, becoming the doctor there. From there to New York. What brought you back home to create your own business?
I've always wanted to come home. I think this city's given me a lot, and I just always wanted to come back in whatever capacity that that was. I didn't exactly know what I always wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to take whatever I learned from wherever I went and come home. Because a lot of people come here and they leave or they don't come back, and this is a really transient town. So I think we need to bring a lot here and keep it home.
So, man, that's salute to you on that, because I think about that, right? Like, it's now seeing you doing your thing is phenomenal. You're flying back and forth to Reno, helping, and you're only, like you were saying earlier offline, but I wanted to bring it up on air. You're only one of 5 dental anesthesiologists out here?
Yeah, so in the whole...
Clap her on there. I had to give a clap on that. Yeah, go ahead. So sorry.
So in the whole country, there's only like 200-ish of us. It's been around, but it hasn't been an official specialty recognized by the American Dental Association until just 2 years ago.
Whoa.
So back then, not a lot of people applied, and now we're getting a ton of applications. A lot of people are trying to get into it, and I mean, it's good. It provides that access for patients, but in Nevada, there's only 5 of us, and 4 are here in Las Vegas, and so there's only 1 up there, so I try to go up there as much as I can.
So what your experience from PK through 12 and then you being in New York, how has those experiences helped you run your business and really operate it?
Well, I work a lot with pediatrics.
Okay.
So I'll say that's helped a lot being, a substitute teacher. I'm kind of interacting with different age groups, and you really have to relate to these kids for them to trust you and build that rapport with them, because if you're over here just talking like you would to a normal adult, they're not going to be about it. And then I'd say just with the medical field in general, you just really have to learn to talk to different people, different ages, different ethnicities, different backgrounds. And, you're not going to vibe with everyone, but you have to learn to work together to accomplish your goals. So I think it's New York. New York is a ton of people. It is like, they call it like the melting pot.
Right.
There's a ton of people and a lot of personalities for sure.
I heard.
Yeah.
How was that adjustment, like as far as personalities and?
I think,
especially coming from the West Coast.
Yeah, I think that stigma of people on the East Coast being rude is not necessarily the word. I think in New York, people are just always on the move and they're in their own element and they're trying to do their thing. And so, don't expect people to walk slow and say, "What's up?" Like, someone ran into me on my way to the subway, and then I said sorry just out of pure reflex, like, "Oh, my bad," and then she got all nasty with me, like, why? I'm like, okay, you ran into me? I don't know. So I think, it's not personal, and everybody's just really straightforward there. And so
Gotcha.
That was kind of an adjustment, but I appreciate the, like how real they are.
How honest and transparent.
Yeah.
I like the transparency too.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
For sure. But it was a little much to take at first. For sure.
So like, now coming from the East Coast, you're back home. How long has Nevada Dental been around?
So I finished residency just June of last year.
Yes, all right.
And it took a long time because, I came home and it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Everything's closed. I can't get my license. The office, like the board doesn't even have a board right now. I don't know. There was like a lot going on. And it took a lot just to get my license, my permits, my business license, my dental license, and getting signed up with different medical supply companies. There was like so much to do. But I started it in like the summer, but I didn't even really start working till around this time last year.
Oh man, that's trash.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, that's how you move home,
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay rent and pay for food.
So like now you're back up. You're officially running. Things are going well. And so like, I guess this question you sort of answered, but I want to go deeper into that. Mm-hmm. So can you think of a time that you planned something and it didn't go accordingly? Like, how did you make it work when it came to your business and coming back home?
Okay, a couple things actually. So in my residency, I had a rotation where I would go out to Arizona because in the hospital, you only learn how to do procedures in the hospital. So, when the patient's finished with their surgery, you just put them in the recovery room and nurses watch them.
Right.
But now in the dental office, like I don't have nurses to do that, right? So I have to be the one that's responsible for that patient. And so I learned that whole kind of routine and how to finesse that through my attendings in Arizona that we did an offsite rotation with. So shout out to those guys because I seriously wouldn't even be here without them. And everything I do is from them, for real. But the hard part, even with them helping me, is that not everything that they do in Arizona or my mentors in California, not everything they do transfers here. We do a lot of things differently. Nevada's not always up to speed with other states too. So even just with, insurance reimbursement or even how to get a permit, a lot of roadblocks were in my way for that. Sure. But you
you was able to overcome it, right? And that's that little magic that we got right there, right? So that's a little bit of our recipe, right? So because normally we talk about like what's your recipe versus the outcome, and those are things you kind of learn when you really start out, especially the transition. You made a huge transition. You went from California to New York and then having partnerships in Arizona. So I would say there's more of an advantage you do have to offer to the state of Nevada when it comes to your field because the fact there's only 5 folks out here, which means in the future it's going to grow. You can be one of the pioneers for that. Truly, Wolfpack gang. So, what are some things you've experienced that could have worked out in theory but did not go that way in practice?
So when I first came home, I think I was thinking, okay, I'll go door to door to offices. I'll let them know like what I can provide for their patients. I'll drop off my information, whatever. But there's like a line there between like giving them your info and then being annoying.
Yeah.
Because you're just showing up, they're doing their thing at work, and so I was trying really hard not to cross that line, right? But the way I think it ended up working is dentists gave me the opportunity to work in their office, and then they got to see what I could do. And I think it's honestly just word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
And this is not something that's. I mean, this is serious, right? This is serious stuff. Like I'm putting their patients asleep for their procedures, and they need to know that their patients are going to be safe. It's a huge liability to have in their office, obviously. So there needs to be something that they know is going to be safe and it's going to go well. So
right.
So I think at first I was thinking, if I just go around letting people know, but it's kind of not how it's going to work. It's just word of mouth has to go around.
Right. So what was the break for you for here in Vegas? That helped you get to where, what was the break from after the word of mouth? You put yourself out there.
It happened so fast. It's so weird because for the whole first part of this year, from January to June, I actually was working in Arizona 1 week a month because I didn't even have enough work here.
Oh, wow.
And then in July, I had to stop going to Arizona because I had so much work here. So I'm so blessed that happened. I just, I really don't know how it happened, to be honest. I was working, and then I'd get a phone call, then I'd get an email, and then, in Nevada, every office that I go to has to have a general anesthesia permit, and that's not how it is in most states. So it's really difficult to get things going because they have to have a site inspection and have to have certain equipment, medications in the office, which is, I don't want to say unnecessary. It's always good to have backup, but I bring all that stuff myself everywhere I go. So, some of the dentists are like, why do I need to have that? But I think once we got going, then everybody just started hearing about, how efficient and safe it can be. And so.
Man, a salute to you, though, because you've come a long way from the story you're sharing with us. And so, like, I'm just proud of you because that's a little bit of that magic you're talking about. You see it within the wind.
Every time.
But I'm sorry I had to do this to you at that part of the show. You ready for what I'm going to tell you?
Oh, no.
Yeah?
I'm scared.
Because I'm putting you in the hot seat, girl.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing?
So in this segment, we provide in-depth questions to learn more about you as a guest, right? So these questions is not too crazy. We're not going to hurt you. I promise. All right? So the first question I have for you, what is a dentist anesthesiologist?
Okay, that's not so bad. If I have to be able to explain that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so dentist, anesthesiologists, after undergrad, they go to dental school.
Okay.
And then you do a residency in anesthesia. And this residency is just like medical anesthesia residents would go through. I did procedures not just for dentistry, and actually most of my procedures weren't dentistry. I did everything from hysterectomies, colonoscopies to
so you did it all.
Everything. Yeah,
okay,
like Brooklyn, 4 a.m. gunshot wound. There, yeah, no, for real.
She said
it's a
gunshot.
No,
Bucko.
I'm serious. I was in there like trauma because you have to do overnight call. So it's like 24 hours, like straight awake. I'm like, I still don't really know how this is allowed, but 24 hours straight of anesthesia. Yeah.
Is there overtime?
No. You're a resident. Resident life.
I mean, listen, the medical field, if y'all paying attention, please do better. Proceed.
But so you do an anesthesia residency, and then when you finish, a lot of people work as a mobile anesthesiologist like I do, and you go office to office providing anesthesia for dental procedures. Yeah.
Okay. Man, all right. So then next question for you. What kind of sedation do you provide?
So I always cater to that specific patient. So it depends on their medical history, their age, and kind of what procedure we're doing. If it's just fillings or if it's full-on implant surgery. But, conscious sedation is something where it's just kind of you get medications through an IV and you don't really remember, but you're still kind of, responding, and you can kind of respond to the dentist and the assistants. Deep general anesthesia is kind of what you would think at, when you get surgery for other procedures, completely out, no recollection of anything. And, you don't respond if they call your name or anything like that. Yeah. Okay.
So what is your patient demographic, like ages and types of patients?
So I see a lot of pediatrics because it's a lot of kids that, you're not a lot of parents don't know you're not really supposed to give the baby the bottle at night and just let the milk just sit on their teeth.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Or if anything, like wipe it. But I see a lot of, 1.5 to 5-year-olds. And then, after that, it's just children that are scared of the dentist. Or if they have a lot of work to do where, they don't want to bring them back for multiple appointments.
Right.
I see a lot of special needs that maybe their care gets neglected, and they come back and do it all at once while they're asleep. And then I also see a lot of adults that are just either needle phobic or just have some past trauma with the dentist that they, want to be asleep and don't want to be awake for it.
Okay. Wow. So what you doing over there?
Yeah.
No? So let's say someone wanted to have dental work done under anesthesia, right? So how would they go about doing that for their particular dentist or dental?
So some dentists do offer sedation in their office, but like I said, there's only 5 of us in the whole state, so access to that care is kind of limited to where we can all get to. But I would say ask your dentist and see if that's something they provide. Otherwise, they can ask me which offices I go to, and they can maybe set up an appointment there.
Okay. See, but you made it through the hot seat.
Yeah.
I promise you it wasn't terrible. See, I had you nervous, huh? I get every guest with that every time. I'm going to keep doing that. That works.
I'm like, do I have to wear a UNLV shirt? What's happening in here? I don't know.
Nah, because like even with me, like I have a contract with UNLV. I go there, do what I need to. I get my paper. I don't,
Man, when I went to USC, it took me so long to wear a red shirt. I was like, this is.
But it's USC
I'll wear a white
though.
one.
But it's USC.
A yellow one.
But it's USC.
I know.
It's USC.
It's not rebel red. So.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's a little different. We can get away with USC.
We could do that.
Like we could do that.
Yeah.
So then, cause now, we got to get into really the sauce. Cause you gave us that magic, right? You gave us that recipe, but now we got to get to the sauce.
You're lost.
Cause you get lost in the sauce.
You also get lost in the sauce.
Yes, indeed. So in this segment, this gives us more insight of our guests where we ask, what is your special ingredient for your business, right? So tell us why nobody can replicate what you do. So Dr. Lemon, tell us what makes Nevada Dental Anesthesia a business nobody can duplicate.
I don't want to use the word you can't duplicate it. I'll say that I think in anything in healthcare, the biggest thing is you really have to care. You have to care about. I mean in anything, right?
Yes.
But especially healthcare, you're dealing with people's well-being. And I had an attending in New York, Dr. Thornhill. Shout out, Dr. Thornhill.
Shout out.
He every time he would go pre-op a patient in ambulatory, he'd say. To the patient, today you're my aunt, your uncle, my brother, my sister, and I really felt that, because you really got to treat these people like they're your family, because that's the attention and care that they need, because they are someone's aunt, uncle, brother, sister, mom, dad. So, I think you just really have to be able to empathize with people and kind of really see where they're coming from. I get a lot of parents that are really anxious and scared, and I call every parent the night before.
Oh wow!
And I call them all after too.
See, that's a little bit of that magic right there. Then that's that sauce. That's what I'm talking about. Keep going.
But yeah, I think you just really, that's the biggest thing.
Man, give you right. That's dope. I like that. I don't need, because going for us who get checked in, like a lot of us. I'm pretty sure we should go through the routine and then we see our regular doctors, and there's probably no connection outside of that. But for you to take the extra step to call parents the night before, a huge salute to you. Let's give her a round of applause for that. So then what would you say is your secret sauce that has people calling you back every single time?
Oh, I think people feel that, like I think even when you go to the doctor, right? Like, oh, this guy just walked in and asked me a couple questions and then left.
Yeah, real talk.
Like for real. And you can feel it. You feel that vibe with that provider. And I think I really try, because I don't care if I'm running behind. I don't care. Like this is my patient right now, and this is the care I'm going to give, and I'm going to give them 100%.
Man. Huge salute. Come on now. Come on, Lemon. Because thank you for giving us that sauce. Because I got a little bit lost in that sauce real quick, because it was genuine. I felt that. Because now we're actually going to go into our last segment, right? And in this last segment is the happy hour, ladies and gents. Oh, and but I got a gift for you. From the Business Information Buffet Podcast, thank you for being on our show. Wanted to give this to you. Right? Of course.
Thank you for this hat on.
Man, go ahead and put that swag on. I didn't know which color you like, so I just put both of them in that thing. And you got a shirt.
I mean, this is pretty sweet.
You see, you like that yellow? You see the back of it, right? Boom.
Yeah,
The bit.
nice. Thank you.
Of course. Because in this segment right here, we like this between the guest and the host, where we take a toast to success. We take a toast for you, and we take a toast to see what's great going on with your business, big or small. So with that being said, Miss Lemon, before we take a sip of this nice apple cider, what is something that's going great for your business right now that's worth celebrating?
Oh, so I don't know if this was earlier or during this, but I told you this time last year I had no work.
You said
and,
that.
I'm booked through half of next year.
Come on.
And yeah, it's pretty wild. I'm so grateful. It's unreal for sure.
Bless, man.
But can we talk about 115 years though?
Oh, come on, what's up? Come on, man. What you talking?
I spent all the whole time trying to do math. Like 20, 21 minus 1906.
1906. That's right. Yeah, man. 115 years, a mainly deed scholarship, and a love for all mankind. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hey, but for real, so proud of you.
Thank you.
Can we just talk about that for a minute? I read that mission statement. I don't want to butcher it. I know you know it. Recite it. Mm-hmm. What's the mission statement? Because you do exactly that for this city.
No, you good. Yeah, I do.
You do.
I appreciate. I mean, it's something that I lived by since I was 15, right? And I'm not gonna recite that whole thing because
come on, it's not that long.
It's not, but I'm not gonna recite it. No.
I'm gonna read it off my phone.
No, do not write it. Do not read it off your phone. No, because I think let's in a nutshell, let's talk about the motto, right? Going into the first of all, service of all, we shall transcend all, which is essentially the whole premise of the mission statement for Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, where it's really serve self first. Not serve self, serve others first, right? And really, whenever God gives the gift to you to do, you present to the world, you give back, right? It's not just for self, it's for the world. And being in this fraternity, it's been something that's great because you pull everyone along with you. You make sure that you take care of everyone that's around you, and you elevate. When you elevate, everyone around you elevates too. And that's really truly the aims and the mission of the fraternity, because it's been something that when I was 15 and when I needed the guidance, they were there. I was in their youth group. My fiance was in their youth group. And then when I got to college, because they annoyed me, actually, real talk. Now, I was annoyed. Like Curtis will tell you, we both were in the youth group. He came through the youth group too. They annoyed me because of how much they held us accountable. Like they were so hard on us, bro. Like it was crazy hard. But now as adults, we get it.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it that much more. Yeah. And I had no clue. I didn't think, like, cause to be honest with you, I was so annoyed. I was like, man, I ain't gonna be no alpha. But when I got to UNR, when I got to the steps, I seen all the frats, and I was just like, no disrespect, but it was just like, there's a certain standard that alpha held, right? And I thought, I rolled with the homies, with the noobs and all that, but I was like, nah, I'm cool. But then Dr. Original Chin Stewart. Let me tell you how cold he was. You know how everybody has their informational? Mm-hmm. Everyone has all this info on their PowerPoint. He had a 7-slide PowerPoint with one word on each of them, and everything came from the heart. That sold me. Because I was just like, yeah, that's what I know for alpha. Like, yeah. And since then, like, we created many distinction. We did all that stuff. Definitely trying, because all the stuff we did was to get the chapter there. Yeah. So when folks was like, oh, they out here trying to do this, I'm like, nah, we just trying to show them that, as soon as we get those letters on, we taking over. Yeah. But it didn't happen during our time, but thankfully we were able to finally charter a chapter up there. It took like 10 years, but we chartered it 2019. So in 2009 we got there. It took 2019 to finally officially charter the undergrad chapter there. So it took time, but we got it done, and I'm thankful. Man, 115 years, 115 years of service. I'm thankful.
Hey, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah, amen. Come on, man. Look at you. We up here supposed to tell us about you.
Come on.
But
It's Founders Day. You got to.
Got to, man. So no, thank you, man, because you got me. See, man, you got me wanting to up here. You got me up here wanting to recite all this information like I'm back online. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Because then I gotta go all the way, and I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that today. But what I will say, let's give a toast to you, the fact that you have way more business for 2022. Okay. A toast to you, Dr. Christine Lemon, on friendship, on business. I've known you for many years. Toast to you and success, Queen. Boom.
Thank you.
And you know how we used to do it. We tap that table. Ah, man.
Someone spiked us or what?
Not at all.
I'm just kidding.
For the record, there, no. Definitely did not. But what I will say, so please, Lemon, Dr. Lemon, please plug everything. Your social media handles, where people can find you, your websites, everything. Plug it.
Oh, okay. Instagram is NV_dental anesthesia. It's kind of long, sorry. And then Facebook, you can just search Nevada Dental Anesthesia. And my website is www.nv-da.com.
Salute. So thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure having you, Dr. Lemon. This is the Business Information Buffet Podcast, also known as the BIB Podcast, where everybody eats, ladies and gents. I am your host, Sean Tory, with our phenomenal DJ Icebreak.
DJ Icebreak.
And we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you next time.